how to cope with people that you just don't trust. Whether it's a bad feeling that you get from someone who's new that you're just meeting, or whether it's someone that you've known for a long time with a series of mistrustful behaviors, or someone you've known for a long time who's been trustworthy and they break your trust. There are several different mindsets that you can adopt that can help you deal with this person who clearly you can't avoid, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. So get a pen and paper and get ready to take some notes. I've got 5 different mindset tweaks that you can employ right now that can help you deal with these people in your life that you don't trust. But first, I'd like you to check and see, are you a subscriber here? And if not, become one, please, by clicking the subscribe button and the little bell so that our videos will show up in your feed the next time you're on YouTube, and you'll know that we've dropped something else to help you live a happier and more successful life.
GILD Coaching. More success, less stress.
It's not fun dealing with people that you just don't trust. Trust is a big deal. We need it. We need it in our relationships. We need it to feel secure. If you're dealing with people that you don't trust, your stress level is higher, your anxiety level is higher, and it just doesn't feel good. And like I say all the time, we just don't like things that don't feel good because they don't feel good. And sometimes we still have to deal with these people that we don't trust. Maybe they're in your family. Maybe they're in your office. Maybe they're in your neighborhood or your community in some way. Maybe you can't avoid them. So it doesn't really matter what role they play in your life. What matters is your skills when it comes to dealing with them. So today I'm going to give you 5 different mindset tweaks that you can employ in your life in different situations with people that you don't trust, or even just people that you don't like. Okay? And it may be just as simple as that. There's something that you've sensed about this person and you just don't like it. You're not sure if you can trust them, but you're sure that you can't. So let's get to work here and learn together. And we will start with number 1. Number 1 is, first of all, you have to accept that you're not going to trust everyone. A lot of us move about life, a lot of us who consider ourselves to be trustworthy, move about life and have an expectation that we can trust others. And when we realize that we can't, it hurts a lot. So just go ahead on the front end and accept that you're not going to like and you're not going to trust everyone. And also accept that other people aren't going to necessarily like and trust you. Even if you're trustworthy, even if you don't understand why they don't like you or trust you, it doesn't really matter. That's their business, not yours. Even though it's about you, it's their business and not yours. So just accept that there are going to be some people in your universe that you are not going to trust and who are not going to trust you. That helps just from the get-go to reduce expectations. You know, what I always say, and this is number 2, you have to check your expectations. I always say that today's expectations are tomorrow's disappointments, because usually expectations are unspoken desires, unspoken requirements that we place on ourselves or on others. And if they don't happen, we get very disappointed and it doesn't feel good. And that goes back to, we don't like things that don't feel good, right? So that's why number 2 is check your expectations. If you have expectations, voice them, have a discussion, see if it's realistic, and it just may not be. So number 1, accept that you're not going to trust everyone and everyone's not going to trust you. Number 2, check your expectations, because a lot of us place expectations on others and it's frankly just not fair. Okay, number 3, you have to be able, when you're dealing with someone who you don't trust, and this is a big one, and I use this one actually more than any of the other 5 that I'm sharing with you today, you have to learn how to be reserved. If you're around someone who you don't trust, especially if you're an extrovert like me, you're maybe an oversharer from time to time, you have all of these feelings and you have opinions. Okay, know that when you are with this person who you don't trust, that you don't need to be in share mode. Be a little bit more reserved. Reserve the right to be quiet. Reserve the right to be absent. Reserve the right to leave. Reserve the right to not come in the first place. Reserve the right to be less accessible to this person. About a year ago, someone who was a very dear friend of mine betrayed me in a huge way. So this is one of those situations where there was a lot of trust and then a huge loss of trust. And it wasn't a situation where I felt comfortable going and talking to this person. It was such a huge, inappropriate betrayal that it was just done. I was just done. And so I did still need to be around this person some because of mutual friends and whatever, but I was extraordinarily reserved when I was around her. And she started to express confusion. What? We're not spending time together. What's going on in your life? And I'm like, oh, everything, not that much is going on. Good to see you too. And I just became less emotionally accessible to this person. Why? Because I don't trust her at all. I didn't trust her then. I trust her less now. And I just don't have any interest in interacting with this person. So I became more reserved. I reserved the right to be more private around this person. And so can you. And that applies to friends. That applies to people in your own household. That applies to people in your workplace. Don't stifle yourself, but in a very energetically clean way, allow yourself to pull back. Okay, number 4, always be kind. You don't have to pour honey all over them and sugar and whatever and just be super sticky sweet. Just like I just explained with that woman who just behaved horrifically and betrayed the trust, not only of me, but my entire family. It was something that impacted all of us. I was never unkind. I was never an unkind word. I was always very civil. I come into any situation, usually, unless something is very, very off in my energy, with just a baseline of kindness. But you can ramp that up or down depending upon who you're dealing with. So with anyone who you don't trust, always make sure that you are very civil. What does that mean? You're polite. No one around you would ever notice your behavior as being off or inappropriate or rude. Just be very businesslike and civil with these people who you don't trust. Because if you don't do anything that can cause them to find fault in you, then they will have less ammunition to do any of their untrustworthy things with, right? Hopefully that makes sense. And by the way, if you ever have questions about anything that I'm talking about, type them down in the comments. I'll come in, we'll look. My assistant will see it. She'll say, hey, Jane, you've got a question, and I'll pop in and I'll answer it. And lastly, number 5, allow. Allow that person to have the energy that they have. Don't try to fix it, no matter how close the relationship is. I was extraordinarily good friends with that woman I just talked about a moment ago. But there is no fixing some levels of betrayal. There's no fixing what is wrong inside the brains of people who think that they can cross a line to a certain degree. Allow. Understand your boundaries. A boundary is where I end and you begin. A boundary is where one person ends and another person begins. And you have to understand that boundary and allow. Just allow. It's their energy. It's their mindset. It's their actions. It's their words. Allow them the honor of being able to be a horrific person. Way over there. You don't have to allow them to be a horrific person right here in front of you. But allow. When you adopt that energy, things will impact you a lot less, and you'll have a much easier time interacting, even with people that you don't trust and don't like. If this video has been of help to you, give me a thumbs up, please. And if you didn't already, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you know the next time we drop a video like this to help you live a happier and more successful life. See you next time.